Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care, Santa Clarita Hearing Center, and Traditions Healthcare Hospice. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host
Dr. Jean Dorio.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And speaking of quality of life, our very own Dr. Ginny Veloz, who is the owner of Santa Clarita Hearing Center, is our guest this morning.
Yay.
Good to see you again.
Yeah,
You
welcome,
too.
welcome.
You too.
Are you
Hi.
staying dry?
I'm dancing between the raindrops, as my mom would say.
Yay,
Yes.
that's
That
great.
sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
How are you, Dr. Jean?
Oh, hanging in there, and I just want to wish one of my patients a happy birthday, Dorothy Flynn, who lives up the street from the KHTS. She's going to be 100 years old tomorrow.
Wow. Fantastic.
Happy
Pretty
birthday.
cool.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. Well, I hope you're going to be around when I reach 100.
I'm not so sure about that, but I hope so too.
Not so sure
Yeah,
about what? That you won't be
being
around,
You,
or that I
you,
won't be
you,
around?
No, that I won't be around. Yeah. But, I tell you, if I am around, I'll be hearing pretty good because of Jenny.
Yep.
There you go.
I'll take care of you. Absolutely.
Yep, there you go.
Well,
Hopefully,
I hope all of this mess opens up because I'm going to throw an 85th birthday party in October.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Yes.
the timing should be right, Barb.
Oh, I hope
The
so.
timing should be right.
Well,
So,
I threw a
we'll
75th
see.
and I threw an 80th, and I'm going to throw an 85th.
Well, they're
Absolutely.
saying that California might be ahead of everybody. I mean, I think the nation and the world has to get better together, and whether that happens or not, I don't know. But California, they seem to be falling in place and adhering to getting the vaccinations, wearing their masks, doing the social distancing, and washing their chapped hands. They're doing things that are just making sure that we're all heading in the right direction. So, yeah, by October, hopefully, the surges won't affect us, and that we don't have any. And if we don't, we'll be in good shape. So we have to be
Absolutely.
hopeful and
Positively.
optimistic, right? Think
Absolutely.
positive.
Yes.
Absolutely and positively.
I'm confused. I'm confused.
There you go, you guys.
Okay, Dr. Jenny,
Yes.
let's
Ma'am.
talk about hearing for seniors.
Hearing for seniors.
Yes.
I am going to tell you, I've been an audiologist for 22 years, and I learned something new that I hadn't known before. Hearing aids, a lot of hearing aids now are going to rechargeable batteries, but before we would have to change the batteries about once a week, right? With the little
Those
batteries.
little teeny tiny batteries. I know.
The
I had to
little
do
teeny
that with
tiny-
Russ's.
And you pull the little tab off, and you
Yes, and you put it in, and
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I kept dropping them on the floor.
exactly. They come in a pack where each battery is separated from the other, and I never really considered it. It's just the way they always came. I found out that if those batteries touch, they clink together, they could discharge, and they all die out just by clinking them
Huh.
together. I had no
Oh,
idea.
wow.
And if they touch other metal, like coins in your pocket, they can heat up
Mhm.
and get real
Do you
hot.
know what's interesting? I found that out because I
Did
would
you?
take two of Russ's little batteries out of the packet
Uh-huh.
and I'd put them on the table
Uh-huh.
and I'd take each one of his hearing aids and change it for him.
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't hear. They were dead. He said, "What's wrong? Didn't you just put new batteries in?"
Yeah.
I said, "Yes." What had happened is
They clink together.
they touched each other. And I thought, wait a minute, what's wrong? So I threw those away
Yeah.
and got two others, but I did it one at a time this time.
Yeah.
So that's what happened then.
There's some providers that for people who can't get them out of the pack, There's some providers that'll say, "Oh, I'll take them out of the pack and put them in a little baggie for you, so that
Oh,
you can,"
Oh,
and they're all gone. None of them work. So,
interesting.
yeah, so that's something I
Well,
learned.
that was very interesting when I found that out, and I thought, wait a minute, are these all dead batteries? That's what I was
hmm.
thinking. Did I buy a lousy pack of batteries?
Yeah.
But no, that's what had happened then.
So you have to keep them separate. Don't let
Yes,
them touch. Don't
yes,
let them
I
touch.
realized that, and I thought, whoa, what's Russ talking about? And I thought, I just put new ones in there.
Yeah.
He said, well, they're dead. I can't hear a thing. And I'm thinking, whoa. So that's
So,
what
yeah,
happened. Whoa.
I learn something new every day. Learn something new every day.
So
Well,
if
I
you
learned it
use
before you did. I learned it over
uh,
2 years
Oh,
ago.
well, you should have told me.
if you use a rechargeable battery,
Hmm.
though, Jenny, does it? If you those touch each other, could they discharge as well? And
What's
do they discharge enough so that you can't recharge the battery? Does it disable it in some way? Do we know?
Well, the batteries, the lithium ion batteries that come in rechargeable hearing aids, you're not able to remove. They're
Oh,
encased
I see.
inside the device. So they're
Oh,
in there.
wow. How long do they last? How long do they last for then?
Oh, I've been fitting rechargeable hearing aids for about the lithium ion, about 4 or 5 years, and I haven't had to
Uh huh.
change any out yet.
Oh,
Oh,
So
okay.
they're lasting a really good long
so
time.
they recharge themselves.
You put them in a charger at night. So when you take them out
Hmm.
of your ears and you wipe them off with your cloth or your tissue, you put them in a little charger and they charge up
Hmm.
overnight. They're good to go for the next day.
So
Well,
do they run out faster though? I mean, what happens if you find that after 8 hours and you're watching your favorite program, boom, all of a sudden the battery goes dead and you have to hook it up to recharge it. I mean,
Hmm.
does that happen ever, or does it last 24 hours?
Um, Typically, they last from about 16 hours and up,
Hmm.
depending on what manufacturer you're using. Um,
Hmm.
if you sit and watch TV all day, the streaming will deplete the battery a little bit faster. But I have not
Hmm.
yet come across somebody who said that it went out on them and they needed to recharge. But if they
Hmm.
did, a quick 20 or 30 minutes in the charger will give you, or 20 minutes in the charger will give you about 25%, and it should get you through the rest of the day.
interesting.
Good.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
But it's been a godsend, really, because a lot of the patients who don't have dexterity in their hands, they have neuropathy,
That's
they
good.
have numbness, they've had a stroke, they just can't do this on their own. They always
Nope.
relied upon somebody else to do it for them, and now they're much more independent because they can do it, they don't have to change the batteries, and you can just get those in the charger, and they're really easy. You just sort of drop them in the charger and they're good to go the next day. Take
Well, now
Cool.
can you wear them at night though? If you
hmm?
didn't want to recharge them at night, can you?
Sure.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
you have to charge them. So if you're
Yeah,
gonna,
but not necessarily at night.
no, you
Because
can charge them whenever
if
you want.
someone gets up in the middle of the night
Hmm.
and can't hear anything, and
Hmm.
that may be a bad thing.
Well, for
So,
in 3 hours you'll get a complete full charge that'll last
okay,
you another full day. Um, so it doesn't have to be at night. It can be in the
anytime,
morning. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
anytime during the day.
And you
Yeah.
can't overcharge them. So even if they're in there for 5 or 6 hours or 5 or 6 days, doesn't matter. It won't bother the battery.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, so
Hmm.
Jenny, educate me a little bit when someone is wearing hearing aids, whether they be battery, rechargeable batteries, or regular batteries. When the battery is decreasing in its charge,
Hmm.
um, what does the person sense? Does it all of a sudden they're not hearing, or does it slowly
Hmm.
decrease? Because for those of my patients, I want to know what their symptom might be if the battery is getting down to too low for them to hear. Does it gradually go down, or does it suddenly go down and they're not hearing at all?
The zinc air batteries are, we're told, they work, and then they don't. It's
Oh,
there's no slow decrease in volume. However, my patients will say, I can tell they're about to go. There's just something,
oh.
I just can
You
sense
can
that there's
sense.
something there and it's time for me to change them. So I trust what my patients tell me.
Hmm.
Um,
That's very interesting.
some of the hearing aids now with the rechargeable is that when you put them in the charger, there's a light that comes on that lets you know when they're fully charged. They might start out as an orange light, and then as it turns green, you know you're fully charged. That light indicator can be programmed by the hearing doctor so that if you have somebody that's nonverbal, you can make the light flash when the battery is going low, which is great for
Hmm.
kids, which is great for nonverbal adults who can't tell you that my battery has died. If
Very good.
Yeah, so, and in the hearing aids, when the battery is about to go, the patient wearing them will hear a beeping noise that lets them know it's time to change the battery. So there's all kinds
Cool.
of warnings. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mhm.
So as
Very
caregivers,
interesting.
though, or as a physician, you know, I want to make sure that when I'm talking to my patients that I know that they can hear me.
Mhm.
And despite the fact, and sometimes I don't know, they have a hearing device in their ear because I can't see it, their hair is in the way, things like that. And if I've just met them for the first or second time, I don't always know.
Mhm.
So, but I'm always looking for clues
Mhm.
for people, with their vision or with their eating and their teeth and things like that, that would clue me in that there's a problem. And, I want to know better when that I can anticipate maybe something is going on with the hearing aid that could be affecting the patient in the long run and my care for them as well. So
Mhm.
knowing when that battery can go down, if all of a sudden, usually they know. If there's a blinking light, usually they know. But I just kind of think that sometimes if they don't know, then it's detrimental to the ability of that person to live in their environment and do okay. So I worry
Absolutely.
about that.
Absolutely. What I tell my caregivers is if you are finding that the person you're caring for is not responding to what you're saying, is looking like they're confused or asking to repeat or straining to hear you, take the hearing aid out of their ear, put it in the palm of your hand and close your hand up, and you should hear a squealing sound. If you don't
Hmm.
hear a squealing sound, there's something wrong. Could be the battery, could
Hmm.
be wax that's gotten inside the speaker that's, making it not work. But that's a really good way as a caregiver to know whether or not the hearing aid's working or not.
Well, that's great info.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
Uh, that's
Russ is
that's
used to squeak.
excellent.
Yes. If you're not hearing the squeak in your hand, it's not working.
Yeah, I could
All right.
hear the squeak. He'd
Yeah.
do this, and what's wrong? What's wrong? And
Yeah.
that was the hearing aid.
Yeah.
It's
So
interesting.
with the
Oh,
weather we're having right now,
Mhm.
does the weather play a role at all with the hearing aids themselves, or just the hearing in general? I mean, in the East Coast, I used to wear not ear muffs, but something like that to protect my ears. Sometimes it would be so cold my eyeballs would freeze. And so I was always worried about my ears as well. But obviously, you got earmuffs on you, it's going to affect your hearing. But does the weather at all? I mean, when you're dodging raindrops and one happens to unfortunately drop in your ear, okay, that could be a problem. But otherwise, does the weather at all play a role that you have found in changing weather, whether you're an Eskimo in Alaska or at the equator and in warm weather? Does that play a role that this much traveling and things like that?
Um, Moisture. Rain does not really play a part. I mean, you can yeah, everybody wears their hearing aids in the shower at least once. I mean, they
Really?
become very comfortable and they become a part of you. And you get in the
Mm-hmm.
shower and you go, "Oh my goodness, it's so loud in here." And, "Oh my God, I'm wearing my hearing aids." So
Mm-hmm.
you take them out, you let them dry out, and 9.9 times out of 10 they're fine. They're really have the highest rating for moisture and for
Cool.
dust. What I find causes more problems is the humidity in the summer because we're
Uh,
sweating. Certainly back east where it's much more of a
Moist,
yeah, the
wet,
humidity rather than
wet.
the dry heat. That can seep into the hearing aid and cause some issues because it's so prolonged. And we use something called a dry aid kit, which has desiccant in it that can pull the moisture out of the hearing aid when you're not wearing them. So you can lay them in there and it'll pull moisture out. And it's become an interesting thing for us because now that we're placing the hearing aids in the charger at night, we have to charge them. So when do we put them in the desiccant? When do we put them in the
mm-hmm.
So some of the manufacturers have been, really proactive and they have made a charger that you put the hearing aids in and you put a little brick of the desiccant inside and you close the lid down. So while they're charging, they're also drying
Drying
out.
out.
And if I have a patient who that's a big problem, we know it. I work outside, I work with my horses, I'm sweating all the time. That's going to
Mm-hmm.
be the type of hearing aid I'm going to choose for them is one where they can charge and use the desiccant at the same time.
Interesting. Well,
Well,
they
how
come up
about
with everything imaginable to solve problems.
Yeah, and it's really important that you're talking to a provider that knows what questions to ask. Because if I didn't know that you're outdoors, it's really a lot about lifestyle. What do you do? What's your daily routine? So I know what to choose for you and what to present to you as choices and options.
You know what's interesting. You hear these, see these ads on television and hear them on the radio about, getting these hearing aids. You can get them at Costco. You can get them at Walmart. You can all this kind of
Hmm.
thing. And what's happening is, at least that's what I've been told, is the quality is much less
Hmm.
than if you go to an audiologist and get good quality hearing aids, which are expensive.
Hmm.
But ones you can buy at Costco are a heck of a lot cheaper,
Hmm.
from what I've been told.
Hmm.
What is the obviously there is a big difference in quality.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, there's hearing aids at Costco that sell the same manufacturers that I do. I can sell a Phonak hearing aid and they can sell a Phonak hearing aid. Their hearing aids tend to be older in technology and don't have the features that the newer ones have that I can
Oh,
provide to you. But ultimately, when you need help, is there somebody available to help you? And who is it that's helping you? Are you seeing a doctor or are you seeing a salesperson?
uh-huh.
Because
Okay.
that's gonna make a big difference. Um, Costco, one of the things that I have a problem with is that if your hearing aid breaks down and it's 3 years old, they will not send it into repair. They tend to say you need to get a new set.
Mhm.
And some of the manufacturer hearing aids, if you buy them at Costco and come to me and say, "Can you help me?" I can't because they lock the computer, so I can't get into it. So even though I would
Whoa,
like to
that's
help you,
that's very interesting.
yeah, it's frustrating
And
for
it's
us
sad, really.
because I understand. I mean, I'm at Costco at least once a week. I'm sure, you'll find me there. And I go, I get my vegetables and I get, my toilet paper and I get, these things that I need there. Um, and I love Costco, but I'm not going to get my medical device there. I'm not going to have be treated medically at a place where I buy my toilet paper.
Well, that makes sense. It really does. Because you can't go to your office and buy toilet paper.
No.
No. You go to your office for someone who's knowledgeable about
Hmm.
hearing problems that you might have. I mean, that's your specialty.
Exactly. And it's not just the hearing aids that I know about. I know a lot about hearing aids. I've been doing this a long time. I do classes all the time to keep me up to date. But I also know about the ear. I know about the brain. I know how everything works together with the balance. And, it all works together. Everything. That's why you see an ear, nose, throat, because it
Yes,
all works together. And you can't just treat the hearing aid. The hearing aid's not a commodity, it's a medical device that works with everything else. And if you don't know how the ear works, with the balance system, with the vision, with everything else, you know, what kind of results are you going to get? Don't know.
that's right. And we need to take a break. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
When you look at your child, you see so much. A creative spirit that surprises you every day. A little leader growing to discover who they are, what they love, and how they can make the world better. At SCVI, we see those same amazing things. Our tuition-free TK through 12 charter school provides boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely, with a learning program customized just for your child. Today, that means empowering your child to bring strengths and passions to the distance learning environment. Our approach keeps your child and family in step while online, inspiring your learner to keep growing without missing a beat. At SCVI, your child will find even more ways to grow with projects and activities in STEAM, robotics, theater, music, and sports. With the only international baccalaureate program in Santa Clarita, SCVI produces graduates who excel at top universities and in life. For enrollment information or to learn more about our distance learning program, visit ileadsantaclarita.org. iLead Schools. Free to think, inspired to lead.
Save water and save money. SCV Water wants to help you find your fit and take advantage of conservation rebate programs that will help you save. Water your landscape more efficiently. Replace your lawn with water-wise plants. Conduct free in-home water surveys. Cover your swimming pool and more. Find the programs that fit your needs and start saving today. Visit conserve.yourscvwater.com to learn more.
That's conserve.yourscvwater.com.
Introducing Oakmont of Valencia, Oakmont's second luxury senior living community in Santa Clarita. At Oakmont of Valencia, you'll have access to full-time assisted living services provided by compassionate staff in the privacy of your own home. Oakmont's Diabetic Wellness Program offers assistance with monitoring and managing glucose levels, meals, exercise, and activities. Oakmont of Valencia offers a fully equipped wellness center and concierge medical program, allowing outside physicians to visit on site. Discover the care your loved ones deserve in a resort-style setting. Visit oakmontofvalencia.com.
Why did Mercedes-Benz of Valencia win the Dealer of Excellence Award in 2019?
Because we strive to provide the most outstanding sales experience.
Mercedes-Benz of Valencia COO Chris Paz.
We know you have high expectations. Our stellar team will meet and exceed your expectations. That's why we were named Mercedes Best of the Best, placing us in the top 10% of all Mercedes dealers nationwide.
Find out how you can lease a new Mercedes for unbelievably low monthly payments. Details at mbzvalencia.com.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And our guest this morning is Dr. Ginny Veloz from Santa Clarita Hearing Center. And, whoa, we're talking about all kinds of things
Yeah.
related to seniors and hearing.
Yes.
Now, do you have, getting away from the senior population, do you have many youngsters who come in with hearing loss?
Youngsters, children.
Children,
Teens?
well, teens, yeah.
I have a fair amount. I mean, my little ones that I started with when I started working out here about 16 years ago, they're off. They're in college and across the country becoming nurses, and I'm like, oh, they were just little children. But yeah, I've worked with children. I've worked with teens, which is a whole nother entity in and of itself,
I
because
can
at that
imagine.
point in time, we don't want to be different. The hearing aids are put through the washing machine. It's left out on the bleachers.
And you get a lot of bullying,
A lot of
teasing, very, very ugly things that
yeah.
happen
So that's
from
a
very insensitive,
delicate.
yeah,
Yeah,
very
it's
insensitive,
delicate.
unknowledgeable other teens.
I just ordered hearing aids for 2 patients, and one of them was about 50, and the other one was 25. So it's not just, what you think
The
of.
elderly.
Yeah, so when people come in and they say, I'm not old enough for hearing aids. Well, what's
Oh,
old enough? And I get it. I understand, but I fit hearing aids on all ages. I fit in little like 2 years old up to 107, 108.
wow.
So it could be anybody.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And what causes hearing loss? And one of the reasons why I ask you that is because so many times I'm driving in my car, especially during the summertime or the spring, where I have my windows cracked a little bit, and up will come beside me a car full of teens with music so loud that I have to shut my windows. And I'm thinking to myself, you don't understand. You're going to lose your hearing listening. What damage does loud music do for youngsters, for teenagers especially? Because
Well,
those are
yeah.
the kids who have the loud music blaring.
Or they have their headphones in and they're blaring their music. I see that at the gym a lot, with the very loud music in the gym, very loud music in the headphones, which I totally understand. As we start moving and our heart rate goes up, we're even more susceptible to hearing loss. So that's the worst place to listen to
Interesting.
really loud music. But inside the ear, inside the nerve, way deep inside that we can't look in your ear and see. It's more inside the skull. There's little tiny, tiny hairs that stand up and move and sway. And I think of it like the reeds in the ocean with the tide. They kind of sway and they dance back and forth depending on the sound that's coming through. Some will be activated and some won't. And that's what gives us our perception of sound, whether it's a low pitch or a high pitch. That's very, very important that those little hairs are dancing. That's really important. And when we make those hairs dance too much, they tire out and they die. And they don't dance for us anymore. And that's what hearing loss is. They're not able to transmit the sound through anymore.
How interesting.
Isn't there a new movie out for Academy Award consideration about a drummer who loses his hearing? Have you seen that yet, Jenny?
I have not seen that. I haven't seen any movies in
Neither
like
have
a
I.
year.
That's pretty good if you haven't.
Yeah. I've heard some mixed reviews. I have to watch it before I comment on it.
Yeah, but it's apparently about a drummer who loses his hearing, and that's what the story's about. But I don't know anything more than that. But I was, anxious to at some point see it and see what they're trying to say, because I do hope, like Barbara says, sometimes people, especially when you're younger, you're exposed to sounds that are detrimental to those little hairs, and they just knock them out. And you just don't want to be, 35 years old, and now you have a little baby, and you can't hear your baby crying at night. I mean, think about that fear, that worry. I mean, that would drive me crazy, knowing that I don't, what if I can't, I worry now about hearing an ambulance.
Yeah.
listening to my patients. A lot of little things, but, how about if you're younger and you've lost your hearing because you've been exposed to too many loud noises, especially related to music, and now you're a parent and you want to hear your children. You want to hear them at their recitals. You want them to read when they read poetry. And you want to hear them when they're crying or sad or happy. So these are the detrimental things that we sometimes end up doing to ourselves and not know it, but we try to tell them that. So I don't know about this movie. My hope is that it has some reflection about loud music and hearing loss, but maybe it does and maybe it doesn't. But I understand that the movie has something to do with the drummer losing his hearing. And, they say Beethoven lost his hearing, correct?
Yes.
But by vibration was able to hear music. And I think these
unbelievable.
Some of these musicians, that they hear the music in their head. And, that would not be surprising that Mozart and those could do that no matter what the problem is with their hearing or anything like that, or their vision. But to lose your hearing it's a sense that you don't want to lose in life. You just don't.
And it's very expensive. It's a very expensive thing to replace through a hearing aid. So keep that money for raising your family and not having to spend it on hearing aids. When I talk about the sounds coming through the ear and making those hair cells move, the other way the hair cells move is if the skull itself, because they're all attached, right? The nerve is attached to the brain, the skull. When sound itself is waves, right? Going through the air, they're waves. And so when the volume is loud enough, it's able to hit the bone, the skull, and make those little hairs wave. And so this is bone conduction hearing. And so you might have heard about bone conduction headphones, where you don't put them on your ears, you just sort of put them maybe behind your ears, anywhere it's touching your skull, and it transmits sound through bone conduction. And so when sounds get loud enough, loud music, drummers, loud rock music, guys that work out on the tarmac with the airplane, the mechanics, the jet engines, even with the best ear protection possible, you can't block out all sound because it's going to come at you just by your body, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I've been to airports and I've seen the guys walking around and they've had earplug or hearing, whatever you call them, things over their ears. And I've often wondered why, but then it dawned on me, well, those airplane engines must be very, very loud.
Very loud.
Definitely.
When they're right there,
Yes.
And
you'll notice they're always bright colors.
Yes.
The heads.
Yes.
And that's because it's easy for their supervisors to see that they're wearing them.
Yes. It's very interesting, very interesting. And I often was amazed at how so many of them are wearing them, but they're out there walking
have
around.
to.
Yes.
They're
It's
required.
logical.
Yeah. Yeah. Another way, the other way these little hairs may die out is there's blood running through there. There's blood running through our whole body. So let's say we're suffering from heart disease that's creating a change in the blood flow through our body. If the blood's not getting through those little hairs, they're going to die out.
How interesting.
So there's been a big link between heart disease and hearing loss.
That's amazing. My goodness, I'm learning so much today.
Good. I'm glad.
Oh, wow.
Well, we'll have a test later too, Barb.
Yeah.
I'm not good at tests.
So take good notes then.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's interesting because I've often wondered how some of these people who work outside in heavy construction and that kind of thing, how they are able to survive that type of noise because some construction sites are incredibly noisy, as is working in an airport outside with the jet engines roaring all over the place.
And Cal OSHA sets limits. They set standards that they say if the volume becomes this level of loudness, then you're only able to be exposed to it for a certain amount of time. And after that, we know that hearing loss is likely to occur because of it. So, and I work on work comp cases where people are exposed to noise and they want their hearing aids covered because they're can be expensive, and the business owners are becoming real savvy to the fact that you better be wearing your ear protection because I'm not going to be held responsible for hearing loss that happens while you're here. So they've become a lot more insistent that employees are wearing their ear protection. They are doing hearing testing once a year, and they're watching for changes in hearing. So that's a real good thing.
Oh yes, it
I'm happy
definitely
about
is.
that. Yeah.
It definitely is. But how many years did it take to get to that level
A
of,
long time.
of knowledge? Yes.
A long time. I work with veterans, and I see veterans from Vietnam or earlier, and they didn't, wear they didn't wear ear protection. How are you supposed to wear ear protection when you're in the jungle listening for, footsteps? You can't do that. And they didn't have them available anyway, even if you didn't see combat. They just didn't do that. Now they've gotten a lot better about it, but there's still improvement to be made. Yeah.
Well, I can understand that during the Second World War, because I was a little girl in England, bombs dropping all around, buzz bombs, and then they'd finally crash into the ground and explode with incredible noise. And you can understand why people would lose their hearing, or that would affect them, even as far back as World War II.
Yeah. Yeah, and then in those situations, losing our hearing is the last thing we're worrying about.
That's true. That's true.
So,
keep me safe, keep me alive.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Very interesting.
So lots of things can cause hearing loss. The sound quality. We've talked about chemotherapy and IV antibiotics, can cause hearing loss. And when I'm talking about antibiotics, it's not ones that you take, by mouth. When you're in the hospital and you're very, very sick and they need to give you an antibiotic through an IV,
Intravenous.
sometimes they are toxic to the ears. But again, like chemotherapy, we need to weigh, okay, we know this can cause hearing loss, but this is going to save your life.
That's right. Chemotherapy, when I went through it, I was told that the chemotherapy would kill the cancer, but it also possibly damages other organs in your body.
Yeah, but you do it.
But you have no choice.
And I talked to my oncologist about it, and because I've had cancer as well, and so he knows that if he has a patient who is on some type of chemotherapy that is toxic, I told him, send them to me, and we start a baseline before you give the drug, and then we do it regularly so that we can watch for the hearing loss. And
Smart.
yeah, so like he told me, Dr. Black, Alexander Black, who
bless his heart.
love him.
Oh,
to
I know.
death.
He's my oncologist.
But there is sort of like, okay, well, we know it's going to damage their hearing, but they need it to live. But it would be nice to know at the same time that there may need to be some help after the chemotherapy, people who have ringing in their ears from the chemo, things like that, so I like to talk to him about it, and let him know. He's
very knowledgeable.
Very, very good.
One of the nicest, most pleasant doctors I have ever been to in my entire life.
The whole
He
office.
really is. Oh, yes.
The whole office is like that. So
they really are. It's very interesting. But we need to take another break, don't we?
I guess so.
Yes, we do. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com. Located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow, here to tell you about my Giza Dream bed sheets. I made sure that they would be everything you'd ever want in a sheet set. I started with the world's finest cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region where the Sahara Desert, the Nile River, and the Mediterranean Sea all meet. The long staple cotton makes my Giza Dream sheets ultra soft and durable. They come with extra wide pillowcases to fit over any pillow and extra deep pockets to fit over any mattress. Not only that, they come with my 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. And now you can get the best sheets ever for the best price ever. When you buy one of my Giza Dream bed sheet sets, you'll get another one absolutely free. I personally guarantee that they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KHTS or call 800-973-3927 and use the promo code KHTS. That's 800-973-3927 or go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KHTS.
These days, gatherings need to be outside with lots of room, supporting healthy space and distancing. It's not how far apart we are, it's about the treasured memories we create. Making moments with loved ones, friends, and family are cherished forever. Coyote Creek Locations offers 3 acres of manicured landscape in the heart of Agua Dulce in the Santa Clarita Valley. Craving the outdoors? Baby shower, wedding ceremony or reception, picnic, or holiday merrymaking? Go to CoyoteCreekLocations.com to reserve a date for your next perfect event.
Consumers Furniture is back open for your business. The safety of our community and our staff, above all, is most important to us. We will provide a safe and clean environment for you to find the perfect piece of furniture for your home. To help you with your purchase, we are offering 25% off your entire order or 24 months same as cash financing. And for our awesome essential workers, we will deliver locally your furniture free of charge. Consumers Furniture is located in the Center Point Shopping Center below Sam's Club and Walmart.
There's a very good reason Embrace Your Smile has been voted Santa Clarita's #1 orthodontist for 10 years in a row.
Honestly, it's our team.
Dr. Megan LaCornu.
I think for me, what makes it stand out is when I have patients that come up to me and say, we have never been in a doctor's office that feels like this. Our team is a family, and we really get along, and we are really passionate about what we do, helping our patients get the smiles they want and deserve.
Dr. Megan LaCornu of Embrace Your Smile Orthodontics.
Embrace your smile.
EmbraceYourSmile.com.
Your business sign is essential to getting customers to your location. Feathers can help you get your business noticed. Feathers, now in a new larger space with plenty of parking. They walk you through each phase of your project with special attention to detail and quality. Feathers will provide you a sign that you can be proud of. Your sign will draw customers in instead of having them drive by. Visit Feathers online at feathersigns.com or go to Feathers' brand new bigger location at 26017 Huntington Drive off Rye Canyon or call 298-9442.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Dr. Ginny Veloz from the Santa Clarita Hearing Center. And my goodness, I say again, we have covered an unbelievable amount of information today.
Yeah.
I think more so than other times you've been on. We've hit so many different subjects.
Well, and I think
within
that's
the hearing realm.
And it's a good thing to point out that look at how many subjects we've talked about, and you know, when you go to have your hearing checked and you get hearing aids, you know, you want to see somebody who's familiar with this information.
Absolutely.
You want to see a hearing doctor. And you had said that, I don't know if we were on or not, but there was so much stuff, and we were going to give you a test at the end of the hour. But The good thing is you don't have to remember everything. You need to come and see a hearing doctor because I know this stuff and I will help you through whatever it is that's causing the problem.
Wow.
So there you go.
Yes. So, all right. Am I ready for my test? Not my hearing test, because I do have good hearing. Fortunately, I've never had a problem with hearing. If anything, things are too loud so many times.
Yeah. But you still want to have your hearing tested.
And
yes.
I know
Yeah,
you're
I do.
all talking about hearing, but just to let our listening audience know that there's always technical problems with call-ins and things like that. But, I am indeed having some hearing problems as well, not with my ears, but with the connection. And so if I sound a little inappropriate, I just want the listeners to know that now I'm learning what it's like from my end not to be able to hear well on a show that the Senior Hour where we're talking about hearing loss. So here, technically, I don't have any awareness sometimes of knowing exactly what you guys are talking about. So I'm getting a lesson right now in not being able to hear.
How does that make you feel?
It's kind of a lesson learned situation, but it's I don't think it's because of me. I think it's because of the technology and maybe the rain. I don't know.
Dr. Dario?
I have no idea, but just let our listeners know if I say something not inappropriate, but just not consistent, that it might be because I didn't hear it. But this is what happens, Jenny, when you can't hear.
Right. Can you hear me now? A little bit? Not at all? Okay. Well, so now we see that when Dr. Dorio isn't able to hear properly, he tends...
And I swear I can't hear anything you just said.
Can
I know you might still be talking. This is really
and this
a good
is
lesson
happens.
For our listeners.
This is what happens.
And me.
People talk over you. They're not sure about what's being said, so they tend to do a lot of talking so they don't have to listen and answer. This is what it's like. This is what it's like. He probably feels a little nervous,
frustrated.
Because he doesn't know what's going on and he doesn't want to say something inappropriate. So maybe he stops talking altogether. Maybe he's very unsure. He's a little frustrated that he's not able to be involved in the conversation. This is what hearing loss is. Exactly.
Yes, I can remember when Russ, when he was having his problems hearing and didn't have hearing aids, because for a long time he refused to go.
Of course.
There's nothing wrong with my hearing.
Of course.
I hear everything. And then when I have to end up shouting so that he can hear, then I finally convinced him there's a problem here.
Yeah.
There's a real problem.
Yeah.
And once he went in and had his hearing tested, he did in fact have a hearing loss. And it was it's unbelievable.
It is.
It really is. And Dr. Doria, can you hear us now?
I sure can. All of a sudden it came back. I am cured.
Yay! See, that's what you
Jenny,
get from
you did it.
Santa
Thank
Clarita
you.
Hearing Center.
There you go. I am better. It was live on our show. A cure has taken place. It is a miracle.
That is too funny.
So
miracles work in mysterious ways.
Yeah, that's right. Before we sign off, though, Jenny, I don't know if you did already, but if you can give your contact information to our listeners.
Santa Clarita Hearing Center. Our phone number is 661-388-4135. You can find us online at www.santaclaritahearingcenter.com. We're on Facebook, and we are located on the campus of Henry Mayo Hospital in the D building, like David, number 14.
Wow. And if if your work is any indication of me being able to hear again, people wisely who have listened to this show and heard it will know a cure, a miracle just took place. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you very much. I want to remind our listeners about daylight savings this weekend. We moved the clocks forward, so don't forget, so that you come in time for our show next week, and maybe you'll be cured as well. We appreciate it. Thank you, everybody in the studio, and we are sponsored by Comfort Keepers In-Home Care, Santa Clarita Hearing Center, Traditions Home and Hospice Care. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.